Are you thinking of working in an international company or working at one already? Or thinking of working overseas or have colleagues that are from an English speaking country? Or do you just really want to improve your phrases, idioms used in the business world? Coming up, I'm covering 15 phrases and idioms typically used in an office environment or in the business world. Check it out. Welcome back, guys, for another episode here in Casspeak. Let's get started. So for the first phrase that we have a phrasal verb, and this phrasal verb is reach out. And reach out means to message someone, may it be email, may it be through phone call, whatever it is. But reach out means to message. In an example, we can say, hey, can you reach out to our boss Chad and see if he got our email? Or you can say, hey, can you reach out to Yuki and ask if she's still interested in having an interview with Carlo? The second that we have is touch base. Touch base. And touch base is similar to reach out, but the difference or the critical difference in that one, those two, is basically you're reconnecting with that person. So when you're reaching out, you're messaging, but when you're touching base, you're reconnecting, you're talking again. So in an example, you can say, hey, I just wanted to reach out and touch base with you to see if you're still interested in the job application that you've sent. Or you can say, hey, let's touch base again once you've decided if you want the job or not. So again, touch base, you're reconnecting. Third, we have the word or the phrasal verb going forward. Going forward. And going forward means from now on or in the future. And this is actually something that you would hear all the time when your boss or your manager is sending an email blast to everyone. And an example, this is something that you probably heard. Going forward, we will start wearing masks when we come back to the office in September. Once all this virus is gone, going forward, we will start wearing masks. So going forward, from now on or in the future. Next, we have the word downsizing. Downsizing. And downsizing is not good. Well, it could be good and could be bad. But downsizing is basically cutting something, may it be labor hours, may it be employees, ouch, or may it be benefits to its employees, or maybe it's just downsizing the capacity of your business or something in the business. So in an example, because of this COVID virus that we're actually downsizing our employees. Going forward, we ask you for your cooperation and your understanding. Fifth that we have is the idiom back to the drawing board. Back to the drawing board. And going back to the drawing board is basically starting something all over again because something that just didn't work out or maybe someone didn't like it. It's typically not good when you're going back to the drawing board because again, you're starting it all over again. And an example, we have to go back to the drawing board because our clients didn't like our e-learning that we just built. We have to go back to the drawing board. We don't have any choice. We have to. The sixth that we have is the phrase a learning curve or a learning curve. A learning curve is basically something that is hard to understand or something that is complicated or something that is hard to learn. It is a curve. It's not a straight line. So it's hard to learn it, a learning curve. And typically this is something that you'd hear when someone is explaining something very complicated. Maybe it's a new software or maybe a new protocol in the company, whatever it is. But a learning curve is something that is hard to learn. And an example, it's a bit of a learning curve, but if you continue doing it and studying it, you'll be able to learn our new software. It's a bit of a learning curve, but it's okay. The seventh that we have is the phrase to cut corners. And to cut corners is not that great actually. And to cut corners means it's really you're cutting something or you're making things easier. You're doing it in a shortcut way. There you go, shortcut way. Or meaning again, you're doing it easy. You're not really doing everything. So you're really making it easier for you to finish something or doing a specific task. And in an example, you can say, or maybe you've heard it from someone, I made sure that I didn't cut corners this time. I made sure that I followed all of the steps and I followed all of the protocols that needs to be followed in order for this thing to be signed off. So to cut corners, not good. Number 8, we have the phrase from the ground up. From the ground up. And from the ground up is doing things from the ground up, meaning you're doing things completely. You're not cutting corners, you're doing everything completely. And an example, we have to do this thing again, we have to do this build again from the ground up and make sure that we don't cut corners this time. Are we on the same page? Can we move forward now? Number 9, we have the phrase to get someone up to speed. To get someone up to speed. And to get someone up to speed is basically helping them familiarize something, maybe an information topic, whatever it is, because they didn't get it or they didn't catch it. Maybe because they were coming in late, maybe they weren't part of the meeting, or maybe they weren't part of the memo. So you're helping them, giving them a leg up, you're supporting them to understand something so that they can catch up. And in an example, you can say, or we can say, can we get our new interns, Becky and Peach, up to speed so that they know the new initiatives in our team moving forward. Number 10, we have to shed some light. To shed some light, or shed some light. And to shed some light is basically to explain. That's pretty much it, to explain something. This is a little bit different to get from to get someone up to speed, wherein here you're just explaining. You're not really trying to give them a leg up or supporting them so that they can catch up on something. You're literally just explaining something. And an example, maybe your boss would say this, can someone shed some light as to why we didn't get any profits last month or last year? Whatever it is, but to shed some light, again, is just to explain. Can you shed some light on this matter, right? Number 11, we have the idiom to put something in the back burner. And to put something in the back burner means you're doing something later. That's something, or whatever that thing is, in low priority. So to put something in the back burner, again, is doing something later. In an example, maybe you can say, we can do the interviews on the back burner for now. Let's just focus on sending these emails to our stakeholders. Putting something in the back burner, to put something in the back burner. Number 12, we have the idiom to be in hot water. To be in hot water. And to be in hot water is not good. To be in hot water means you're in trouble. You're in trouble. You did something wrong. Maybe you messed up. Basically, you're in trouble. To be in hot water. And an example, our colleague Peter is in hot water right now because our boss found that he was playing Minecraft while on the job. To be in hot water. Number 13, we have the phrasal verb ramp up. Ramp up. Ramp up. And to ramp up is to really speed up a process or increase a process. Speed up a process or increase a process. And in an example, we really need to ramp up our calls today because we didn't reach our quota this week. So can we ramp it up, please? Number 14, we have the idiom a long shot. A long shot. And long shot is something that has very low possibility. Its possibility is not that high. It's low. So it's a long shot. You're not, really sure if it's gonna hit or not. So it's a long shot. And for example, you can say, hey, it's a long shot, but maybe you want to try asking for vacation for a month in December. It's a long shot because it's 1 month, but still do it. It's a long shot though. Number 15, we have at the end of the day. At the end of the day. And at the end of the day is basically saying same as saying ultimately or in the end or ultimately. And when people say at the end of the day, it means that maybe they've taken everything into consideration, or maybe they've taken everything into account and they're making a decision, whatever it is. And in an example, you can say at the end of the day, you have to make a decision because it's your job and you have to decide whether you want to quit your job or not because it's your life. That is yours, not mine. At the end of the day. 15. And lastly, number 15, we have at the end of the day. At the end of the day. And at the end of the day means really it's the same as saying ultimately or in the end, right? And when people say at the end of the day, it means that that person have taken everything into consideration, or maybe have taken everything into account. And an example, you can say at the end of the day, you have to make a decision whether you want to quit your job or not, because it's your job, not mine. But at the end of the day, it's your call at the end of the day. Now, those are the idioms, phrases, and I believe one vocabulary that you would typically hear in the business world or in an office environment. If you like this video, or if you've learned something new in this video, please, give me a like, or maybe subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Or if you have questions, ESL related questions, whatever, ESL English, Business English, IELTS, CellPip, related questions, ask them down in the comment section down below. Again, I want to invite everyone to my free classes that I hold twice a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays from 8:30 a.m. till 10 a.m. That's your beginner to intermediate class, and then I have another one at 10:15 to 11:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anyway, that's it for me now. Signing off, this is your teacher and your friend and your boy, Casty, here in Casspeak. See you next time.